Well, hello, Linkies. How are we today? I've been getting out quite a lot of emails over the course of the past week. So some of you are here that haven't been on a LinkedIn Live before. So welcome to all of you. We've still got something like 32,000 emails trying to go out from our database at the moment. So yeah, we are going to be trying to keep you more informed about your CVs, LinkedIn, portfolio, job search, and personal brand so that you stand out in the job search process. Hopefully, that's my watch telling me, yes, that we are live. Oh, deep breath. I had one week a few weeks ago that I was sat here on my own. No one had joined, and about 35 minutes into the LinkedIn Live, literally no one was commenting or no one was saying hi. So if you're live, please say hi, just so that I know that I'm 100% live on LinkedIn, because I have to say it's like, yeah, it's given me the fear. Like, I'm doing all these LinkedIn lives and we've got loads coming up with lots of guests. So we're kicking off next week with Ray Brown, which I'm really looking forward to. I've noticed that with our getting all of these email notifications out to you, or our database at least. So if you're not signed up on our website, please scan the QR code so that you do get these notifications, because there's loads of emails that you'll receive as well, so that you can update your CV, LinkedIn portfolio. There'll be 3 tips in every email so that you stand out. Oh, we got someone. Mohammed, hi! Lovely to have you here. Phew, we are live. Thank goodness. Hi, Abdul. Lovely to have you here as well. So yeah, please get your comments in this week. Okay, I can breathe now. So today, what we are going to cover, if you've been here week in, week out, you'll notice that the title of these LinkedIn Lives have changed, because I was just focusing on the portfolio section, shall we say, the portfolio element of your job search, because that's really where people let themselves down. So, we've got a masterclass on our website. Hi, Graham. Lovely to have you here. Oh, Andrew. Lovely to see you too. I was looking at your profile earlier. You probably noticed I was trying to let people know how to find the events. And on that note, I think I will show you. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Andrew. Right. Sorry, I just clicked the wrong thing. That's typical, isn't it? So, right, let me show you guys where to find the up and coming LinkedIn events. Let me share my screen. I'm in something here that you're watching me on called Restream. So week in, week out, I do have people posting comments that have LinkedIn user, or they want me to go and have a look at their profile. I can't do that in Restream. So if you do want me to have a look at your profile, hi, Rebecca, I will do that afterwards. But let me show you, let me share my screen so that you can find the LinkedIn Live events that we have up and coming, because we've got quite a lot of guests appearing over the next couple of weeks. So here we are. Right, here's my LinkedIn profile. And if you, obviously this is my my profile, so it's slightly different to what you will see. Yes, here's the LinkedIn Live here. Phew. And if you click on events, this is where you will see Ray Brown, Andy Shaw, and Nikita Morel, who's going to be joining me over the coming weeks. So they are going to be sharing quite a lot of information from different perspectives of how you can move through your career in terms of leadership, what skills you need to learn. Andy Shaw's the ex-chair of Reba, so get your questions in. And then we've got Nikita Morel, who she specializes in designing websites, and what she's seen on the architectural side is the same mistakes as what I see with architects and designers in their portfolio. So I found her on LinkedIn. She was posting as normal, and I really, really liked what she had to say. But again, it kind of falls into the portfolio section of your job search, or element, however you want to phrase it. That you really need to kind of embrace who you are as a designer. And that's why I'm doing these. I've been posting jobs this week, and what I'm going to do today, actually, I may as well just go straight into it. I'm going to cover the 5 elements of a job search. So CV, LinkedIn, personal brand, portfolio, and job search, so that we can cover every element. But please get your questions in, whether it's there or there, I don't know. I think it depends what platform you're viewing this on. So yeah, I've been posting these jobs, and what I'm finding is that lots of candidates are missing out vital information. So you will see on my profile, actually, we're currently looking for a senior site architect. And when I was going through the applications, some of the requirements for that job is that you need 5 years experience in UAE working on site. You also need to be working on really high-end, modern, residential or mixed use projects. Now, there's a myth out there when it comes to CVs that you should have a maximum 2 to 3 page CV. And this is such a myth, and it's a misconception, that you need to condense all your experience, because hiring managers are busy people. And yes, they are. And I have to say, this very myth is why I'm still in a job, because you guys send your applications to businesses out there, and what happens is they can't find the information that they're looking for. So when you start condensing your CV, you guys start missing out information that we need, and one of those elements is projects. So when I was going through the senior site architect applications, nearly every candidate, there were, out of, I think there's 342 people who have applied. Quite a lot of them don't have the experience that we're looking for, because we're also looking for Revit, AutoCAD, MS Project, and if possible, lead or PMP. But when I was going through the CVs of the people who were suitable, what they were leaving out was the projects that they're working on, size and scale, sector, duties on those projects. And what we are looking for is to see the progression through your career of what you've been working on, the size and scale, which is vital, for any of you who work in the Middle East or outside of the Middle East. The Middle East projects are humongous. So we need to know that you have that relevant experience that we can apply to those roles. So I've had to go back to, I think it was about 22 people. No, not very many, is it? So 22 people who, and I've just sent them an email saying you need to update your CV, which elongates the time or the conversion time that I can have a word with them, or kind of put them over to the hiring manager. And then we have the portfolios. So the reason why I'm doing these LinkedIn lives is I want you to be super prepared, way ahead of when you have to send out your CV and portfolio. Because if the information isn't in your CV and portfolio, it never happened. We are not mind readers. So please get rid of this idea that you need to reduce your CV, because I would say it's a very high proportion. I don't know the figures, because I'm not going to sit there and go through 340 odd applications to figure this out. That's too time consuming. But the majority of people, certainly those 22 people that were left that were suitable, I didn't know what projects that they were working on. And then when I looked at their portfolios only had 3D renders. So I have no idea, whether they are just 3D visualizers. I mean, that's the message that it gives. So we really need to understand way more information about the stages of a construction project that you work on. So whether it's right from the outset, right through to site, or you're just working on the technical side. But do you see what I mean? If we don't have the full picture, it's very difficult. We're just guessing and assuming that you can do, I don't know, for example, concept design or technical design, or you've worked on site. Unless it's there, we just don't know. So we need clarity. And once you have all the elements in alignment, then the interview process becomes much easier. Right, hang on, Abdul, we've got a question before I get into the nuts and bolts of everything. Please share your perspective regarding AI with architecture practice. How do you think of future jobs within interdisciplinary fields? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, but actually, Andy Shaw, so this one's for you, Abdul, and anyone else who's thinking about AI. He's been doing quite a lot of talks on AI and how it's going to influence architecture as a whole. And he is much better at answering these questions than I am. Certainly from my perspective, our clients are asking more and more for people who have AI experience. However, what I'm finding first off is that, if you are, I had someone the other day who hasn't qualified as an architect and was calling themselves an architect. They've learned Midjourney, and I think there was one other piece of software, I can't remember what it was now, but he's calling himself an architect and producing AI imagery. I'm not sure that's what we're looking for, because at the end of the day, we're looking for clients want to know that the buildability of that design. It's no good kind of, it's great coming up with these concepts, but if you don't have the background in construction and architecture and whether it would work, then just producing an image, great, it's an image. We need to know that it will stand up first off. But yeah, I think if you could, Abdul, go onto my profile and click your attendance for Andy Shaw's LinkedIn Live. Please bring all your AI questions there, because he has more insights than I do on this. So, right, let's get into the nuts and bolts. I have covered the 2-3 page myth. Please don't think, yes, hiring managers are busy people. However, what they don't have time for is, if the information isn't in your CV, they're never going to reject someone who has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 page CVs. That's just ridiculous. That's some career coaches' idea. And honestly, if you search on the internet, that's the kind of advice that the internet's giving you. It doesn't mean to say that it's true. Certainly in construction, we really struggle with the lack of information in a CV. And if we don't have that picture, then it's really difficult to decipher whether you are suitable. So the next myth with regards to CVs is that the ATS is rejecting you automatically. Now, this is not true. It needs a human to make that decision for it. So if you think that, there's a very good way to test your CV as well. So bring up your CV, and what I want you to do is copy all the text and then bring up a notepad or Word document and paste that text into your notepad or Word document, whatever it may be. And if it reads exactly the same as it does in your original document, then the ATS system isn't a problem. All the ATS system is there for is to extract information from your CV. So like, it can work out years experience from, for example. So it extracts all of that information. It puts it into searchable fields, so our recruitment consultants can find you when we're doing a search in our database, and it will work out your year's experience, and that's really the only thing that it works out. All it does is pull out, like, if you've got a header saying education, it will pull out that information and put it into boxes that will work out how long you've been in education and what you did. So it's nothing to be scared about. I think, again, the internet scares people, and certainly, you know, career coaches I've seen do this too. It infuriates me, but I watched something, I read something this week, and it was very much like the ATS is doing X, Y, Z. And I had to stop myself from commenting because I just thought I'm getting into a negative war about this. But yeah, literally just copy and paste the text from your CV into a notepad, into a Word document. And if it reads exactly the same, then you're good. So that's the CV myths covered. And just please add the projects in your CV. You know, I don't want to be going back to everyone who's applying for jobs on our website and having to get you to update more information again. It stops you. it halts your job search. So also, by the way, we've got a scannable code here. I did see somebody earlier scan it. And if you register on our website, by the way, quite a lot of you are registered and in our database, but not on our website. So please register here. I think out of our database, I think there's something like 8,000 have registered on our website, and our website has changed. Let me just share my screen again so that I can show you what's changed. Please share screen. So once you've registered by clicking here, you will be taken into the candidate portal, and this is yours. So it will be unique to you, and you can update all of your information so that our recruitment consultants have exactly the same information. Sometimes, like, there is a bit of a sometimes the ATS pulling the information. So we use a parser to pull the information from your CV into searchable fields. And if you want to look it up on YouTube, it's called Daxtra. So that's the parser system or parser software that we use. Other recruitment consultancies will use other software. I don't know about the other ones. But anyway, once you register on our website, you will come into your own candidate portal. Stuttering a bit this morning. And take a big breath. Your account profile is here on the right. So we've got the jobs here. Your specific account and profile will be in here. So you can update your all your information, basically, your CV, your portfolio, and then your requirements. And then we have CV guides and templates. And this is where you can see some of our CV templates, and you will find the project information in there as well, so that, you know, I'm not trying to get you to use our templates. I want you to be original in everything that you do, because each and every one of you has something different to offer. So I'm not encouraging you to think, right, if I use an A recruitment template, then everything's solved. We still want you to be original. So we want to see consistency and your personal brand when it comes to your portfolio, your CV, and your LinkedIn, because that all builds an impression about who you are as a designer. And that's a key word here, designer. You are in a design industry, so embrace it. And be original. You know, get rid of all these ideas that you have to do X, Y, Z. We want you to be original, and we want to stand out for everything that you represent. So, for example, I've been working with one of our platinum subscribers. So we've got all of these offerings in the portal as well. So you can work directly one-on-one with me, and go through absolutely every single element of your job search so that you stand out and you feel a bit more confident. And I think that's what it is at the end of the day. One of my platinum subscribers this week, she's just gone through the CV modules in the platinum subscription, and she just said, Hayley, I get it now. you're preparing us for the interview stage throughout the masterclasses. I was like, yes, exactly that. I want you to be thinking about who you are as an architect or a designer, landscape, etc., what you have to offer. And once you can answer all the questions, by the way, there's about, I don't know, 80 questions to go through, but all it is doing is encouraging you to think about your future. What do you want to be doing 20 years from now? Where do you see yourself? And it's basically thinking about that version of you in the here and now, and then operating from that place of, right, if I was that architect or that director or associate, whatever you want to be in the future, how would I tackle this project? How would I deal with this client? How would I manage my team? And so it's preparing you for the future. So, we don't have our masterclasses there that you should be doing them month in, month out, month in, month out. It's giving you all the information so that you never have to go back to it again. You are prepared. And also within the subscriptions and masterclasses, you will learn from a recruiter's perspective how to go and find those jobs as well. So it really does take you through the complete journey. And we've had some great successes. Actually, what I will do is I'll just put this up here because this is our AE Masterclass. So you can go at your own pace, but we had Yusuf comment a few weeks ago, and he had been searching for a job, for 2 years, and he was ghosted for 2 years. And he said, Hayley, I've barely got through the LinkedIn and portfolio modules, and I've already got an interview. I've been waiting for 2 years. So it works, optimizing your LinkedIn and putting together a portfolio that architects understand. There's lots of telltale signs when it comes to whether a portfolio I'll put this back again, register, is going to do its job. So if you're going to the telltale signs that your portfolio needs updating is bring up your portfolio, and I suggest that you make a copy of it. So duplicate your portfolio and take out all the 3D renders. What are you left with? Would hiring managers understand the storytelling aspect of how you circumnavigated the brief? Is the brief even in your portfolio? So what we need to understand, and what the hiring manager needs to understand, and this is also super powerful when it comes to getting interviews or being selected for an interview. If you contain every stage of a construction project that you work on in your portfolio, then the hiring manager, and bear in mind, he's a visual person too. He works in a design-led industry. So if he can visualize you sat in that vacant seat in their office and visualize what you are doing on a daily basis and whether that solves his recruitment needs, you've pretty much got the job. The interviews become more about how you can work together rather than what do you do. It's a telltale sign as well in an interview if a hiring manager is literally so focused on what you do, he's trying to ascertain whether what he's seen in your CV and portfolio is what is actually going on here. Do you have that experience? Does that make sense? So he's trying to clarify whether what you've told, the story that you've told in your CV and your visual representation in your portfolio align with his idea of your experience. Excuse me a second, I'm stuttering a lot this morning. I need some water. So yes, when it comes down to your portfolio, the telltale signs is that your portfolio only contains 3D renders, so it needs updating, unless you're a 3D visualizer, which quite a lot of you aren't. Like, we've got interior designers at the moment and design architects who do exactly the same. Oh, and landscape architects. So yeah, that's one telltale sign. Are you taking the reader through your work? So again, it's like what I said. Think about the stages of a construction project that you work on, and does your portfolio represent that fully? And is there a clear narrative? So it all kind of, you'll see what I mean. They all kind of mesh together to form an impression of what you work on. So companies are looking for 4 elements within your portfolio. One is clarity. So when you talk about your day-to-day duties and responsibilities in your CV, are they present in your portfolio, and have you visually demonstrated what's written in your CV? So the second element is vision. So it's like I said at the beginning about the AI. So beautiful ideas are amazing, but they need to address the initial project brief, the context, and its buildability, right? So point number 3 on your portfolio, your process. So this is super, super important to hiring managers. They want to get inside this head of yours and understand your design process. So we need to see evidence of how you think in the form of sketches, diagrams, concepts, developments, technical drawings. The list goes on. I'm sure you can fill in the gaps, but we need to understand in a more linear fashion what you work on. You know, I know within a project you're bouncing around because the project will get to site and it's like, oh no, we've found an issue. So it goes back to the technical stages or whatever it may be. So yes, I understand you bounce around, but if you are, again, this is a good point as well, adding solutions to problems that you faced within a project, then that again ticks a box for hiring managers. And then the 4th element that we're looking for within your portfolio is growth. How have you circumnavigated your career, and can we see the growth over the years in your portfolio? So I hope that helps with your portfolio. I can see we might have some comments here. Okay. Could I please increase the size of my QR code? No, I can't. I'm so sorry. That is all I can do. I'm in a piece of software here called Restream. And so I can flick through comments and stuff, but I cannot increase the size of anything. This is why I said at the beginning, Abdul, that if anyone posts links or wants me to look at their profile, I can't because I'm in this software. So apologies for that. Maybe come back to it or look at it on a desktop and do it that way. But either way, what you can do is go to, here's the solution, aerecruitment.ae, and then go into the menu bar and find register. So there we go, problem solving. So we've had some comments come in, and there's similar comments week on week. I think I might have covered some of these already this morning, but while we're on portfolio, I had this a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to bring up again, because like I said at the beginning, your portfolio is so important. It really does set the scene and enables a hiring manager to visually see you in their office. And once they do that, your interviews become a very different process, far more enjoyable. So LinkedIn user from a couple of weeks ago, I was told that my portfolio needs to be maximum 5 megabytes. But you told me I need high resolution images that would take it over that. What do I do? Well, look, we work with tier 1 companies out there, you know, all the big names that you want to work for. And the feedback that we get is, Hayley, there's only 3D renders. That's how I feel about it. So yeah, we only see 3D renders. And then the second comment is, where's the high resolution images? So what most people do is put a massive hero image of a 3D render, and then the stages of the project or the technical work is teeny tiny imagery. And if you were to zoom in on that, it's all pixelated, so goodness knows what you're doing. We need to see the work that you're producing and see it clearly. You know, think about the experience that you're creating when you're sending out your work. If you're saying that you're a passionate designer, for example, and we can't see any of your design in your CV and portfolio, then bring those elements in so that creates the right impression to the hiring managers. But this whole like 5 megabyte or 10 megabyte maximum is ridiculous. And if there is a company that does do this, what I would like you to do is do a master portfolio of the projects that you work on. And that will give you a really good insight as to what jobs are suitable for you. So maybe a job description says, right, we are looking for people that work on high-rise projects, for example. Open up your master portfolio. Does your portfolio contain any high-rise projects, for example? Because this is a key element to this. In a job search, candidates waste their time applying to jobs that aren't suited to them. And maybe they have worked on a high-rise project 10 years ago, but that's not relevant to what the hiring manager is looking for today. The people who get the jobs are the people who have the relevant project experience here and now. So they'll be looking at more than 2-3 years. So if there is a company who wants maximum 5 megabytes, 10 megabyte portfolio, what I suggest you do is look at the last 2-3 years and put together a reduced portfolio on that so that you can submit it. And by the way, these limitations are usually set because companies cannot, it's a data thing. So data costs a lot of money. So when it comes to a database, etc., they cannot hold all of those portfolios. So they're trying to, I know we've had it before in the past. We've changed our setup now so that we ask for a portfolio URL. But what we found at one point, people were uploading like 1 gigabyte portfolios, which obviously takes your data starts costing, or database starts costing a hell of a lot of money when you've got over 100,000 people uploading massive portfolios to your database. So the limitations are there for that, really. But I do know, like tier one companies, there's a couple out there. I know why they're doing it. They're trying to test you to see if you're putting together a portfolio that's relevant to them. So there are a few things at play, but what I would do is put a portfolio URL in your CV so that if they want more information, go into your portfolio and put it in chronological order as well, please. So, got things clicking off here, clicking in, clicking out. All right, what do we have here? Okay, LinkedIn user. What about facade construction project management side? Do we really need a portfolio? Do hiring managers look for? So construction project management and facade, I don't think so, but that's not the main kind of body of the clients that we work for. We primarily work with PIFs, architectural practices, consultancies, developers. We don't get so much involved on the facade side. And certainly, like when it comes to project management, no, not so much. However, we worked with a PIF firm who was looking for design project managers at director level, and they did want portfolios because they were looking for people who had a designer's background, who'd worked at like Foster and Partners, etc. So they wanted to understand the level of expertise and their capabilities as a designer. So it's not kind of cut and dry on this. If you see design in the this is such a complex thing. I was talking to one of our platinum subscribers about this, and what becomes really confusing, if I'm to use like Reba, for example, as an example, in every stage of the Reba process, or all the construction stages, design is mentioned. So when you see that, yes, it's design, but we kind of segment it into design being like the ideas bit, so the front end design, so the pre-concept, the concept stages, and then the technical design. But it's like the technical construction drawings. What I would say is look at the job description and understand if they're wanting that design element for the next employee that they're looking for. If the job description goes on and on about design, then yes, you probably do need a portfolio. But even so, even that, so click apply. Is there a URL link for a portfolio? That's a telltale sign. So hope that helps. I'm not sure if that's perfect because LinkedIn user, I don't know if you know, you might want to change your settings if you are looking for a job. You're coming up on my screen as a LinkedIn user, so I don't know who you are, but you might want to have a look at your LinkedIn settings so that everyone can see your name. I don't know if you ever go on to your people who sorry, I'm really stuttering today. So people who viewed your profile, and if you go on there and you'll see LinkedIn user or someone at, and that's because they don't have their visibility settings set to visible on LinkedIn. So you might want to do that. I, over the years, have found loads of people from really great companies who keep looking at my LinkedIn profile time and time again. And I'm like, oh, are you looking for a job? Because I've got something for you. So if you are looking for a job at the moment, make sure your visibility settings are set to visible to everyone so that people can see that you're looking at their profile. And you never know, you might find a job that way. So I hope that helps, LinkedIn user. Abdul, got it. Thank you. You are very welcome, Abdul. Imran, thank you for the share. You are welcome. Alistair, welcome. So I think I've covered everything on the portfolio side. No, I have not. I did a post earlier today about if you are sending out a link, a portfolio URL, make sure that we can gain access, because I have to go back to so many people who send Izu or Google Drive links to request access. Now, if you aren't applying to jobs on our website, because every time you apply to a job on our website, by the way, it goes through like a funnel. So we can keep track of where you are in the process. And you will get an email and a WhatsApp if we can't get access to your portfolio. We've managed to automate it recently so that our database is constantly checking to see if you've updated your URL field. It's so ridiculous, isn't it? It's so admin intensive. You know what I'm trying to say here, that we're trying to get ahead of all of this. And that's why I'm doing these LinkedIn lives. You know, I want you to stand out in your job search. I want your CV to have all the information in it, so I don't need to ask you to update it, but we're having to add it to our website. And this is why we've got the masterclasses, and there's loads of free information there too. If you register on our website, you will get some emails with 3 tips about the 5 areas of your job search that you can update immediately. And then if you want more information, we've got our masterclasses, or you can work with me one-on-one. I know somebody last week was just like, Hayley, how do I work with you? So please go on to our website, aerecruitment.ae. There's loads of information on there once you register as well. And we will be getting a lot more information out there, not to all of you who want it. And we've got loads of LinkedIn Lives coming up. So please go to my, excuse me, LinkedIn profile, go under events and click attend on any of those events that you think will be great for you. So, need to take a breather and a drink. Beggar? Is that how I pronounce your name? I'm really sorry if it's not. I'm not very good at name pronunciation all the time. Hey, Hayley. Hello. In your experience, do you find LinkedIn activity is more effective to get noticed by recruiters in the UAE? LinkedIn activity. What do you mean by LinkedIn activity? I think in the general sense, when people are active on LinkedIn, what I love it for is that how you comment and how you what you post, you get that insight that you don't see in a CV or portfolio, and that's more to do with your personality. You know, sometimes personality will get you the job above anything else. I know that I've come across people, and certainly our platinum subscribers, I don't know what it is at the moment, but they've all got this zest for the industry. And that is so marketable. Certainly from my oh, you're so welcome. You're golden. It's a tough one. Thank you so much. So yeah, what we really want to see in your CV portfolio and your LinkedIn is your personality. And I think I actually had this conversation this week with one of my platinum subscribers. She was just like, Hayley, I don't get it. How do I do that? There's so many rules out there. And I'm like, get rid of those rules. They're just holding you back. You know, the 2-3 page CV, you're not able to add all the information into your CV that we need to make a decision. And certainly in the whole process, the people that always stand out to me are the people who have a personality. You know, they are the ones who shine because they break up the monotony of this is me. I am an architect. I am passionate. If you're passionate, show me. I want to see it in your CV and portfolio. You know, is it designed like it's designed by a designer? Is your portfolio taking us through a storytelling exercise about the brief, how you kind of dealt with the client and took them through the journey to the end result? And I know not all of you will work on every single stage, and that's fine, but just make it really obvious which stages of the project you work on, rather than just putting a 3D render that gives no one any information unless you are a 3D visualizer. You know, I think for hiring managers, and certainly for us, hiring managers use recruitment consultants like me because they found it so difficult to find the people and find the information that they need. I know, like our clients that we work with, they said, Hayley, how do you work on LinkedIn? It's a nightmare. We post a job, we got 800 applicants within half an hour. And we had accountants, we had finance people, we had people that are just wasting our time. So, you know, LinkedIn is great and everything, but it doesn't kind of put any safeguards in place so that it doesn't waste people's time. And I do get that. But LinkedIn for me is so valuable when, if I have a great CV and a great portfolio, I will automatically go and have a look at the LinkedIn profile, because I feel that the information on LinkedIn is probably going to be more honest than what you get in a CV and a portfolio, because it's out there for everyone to see, their colleagues to see, etc. And I know people find it really difficult to get themselves out there and start commenting and stuff. They really, again, one of the platinum subscribers this week, I was asking him about doing self-contained kind of webinars and to our database. And I was trying to ask him, how do you feel about that? And would you be up for it if I did more self-contained webinars? Because these LinkedIn Lives are great, but I really want to see your faces so that I can gauge whether I'm hitting the right information for you. Also, I can pick up a lot from just seeing, you know, your reactions to what I say. There's so much of in this that I have to be quite intuitive about, and I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing. But yeah, if I could do webinars, then I can get your reactions. But he was just like, I think architects in general just feel like when they're applying to jobs, there's so much competition out there that they're almost competing against each other. And what I said to him is that, okay, so most of you are in jobs right now, right? So that has to mean that the jobs are out there. And I think if you change your mindset, your mindset is such a powerful tool. It can work with you, so when you're in a really positive mindset, or it can work against you. And the job search is definitely one of those stressful areas of anyone's life or career journey that you know, you need to kind of get a grip of that mind and make sure that you're using it to your advantage. So get any of these kind of competition thoughts out of your head so that you are in your peak performance when you're looking at your job search. And this is kind of why I'm doing these LinkedIn Lives as well. Like, most people, you know, if they've been made redundant or something, it's awful. It's an awful experience to go through. So what I want is for you guys to be prepared way before you actually need your CV, portfolio, and LinkedIn profile. People get ghosted on LinkedIn because they haven't warmed up their network. You know, I often get messages from people saying, do this, do that, look at my LinkedIn, look at my CV, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't have anything for you at the moment, so I have to prioritize the people that are suitable for the vacancies we have now. But if they're approaching me like they're approaching everyone else, I'm sure they, you know, the receiver is kind of going, I don't know who you are. You know, it's like anything, isn't it? If you don't have a relationship with that person, then why would you kind of go out of your way? And that's not in a recruitment sense. I think that's just a general sense, is what I'm trying to say. So, you know, be active on LinkedIn and make sure that your CV and portfolio are aligned so that you are producing them or putting them together when you are in a really good mood, first off, because this is something that I go through with my platinum subscribers or anyone that I've got one-to-one time with. It's like sometimes in a week, they will come to one of our coaching sessions and I'm like, are you okay? Has something happened? And I'll be like, right, off you go and do some star jumps because, or skip. It's impossible not to skip without putting a smile on your face. So we need that, like, we need you in a positive mindset so that you write from that mindset. And we get a different result. People start gravitating towards you because people make decisions based on emotion. And that's what we're trying to create in your CV and portfolio. You know, your portfolios are such an amazing window and insight into your work. You know, architecture affects every single person's life on this planet. And you feel emotion within a building or a landscape space, you know, and you're able to make humans feel a plethora of emotions to your CV and portfolio completely devoid. Okay, Graham, so good to Graham. Where is this not or coming up? Something got no one's comments. Uh-oh, happened. The joys. So Graham does roles. Yeah, he plays people certainly on the top band. We don't get involved in the junior roles as much. Oh, did it come up again? Can you see this or me, or can I just not see this? I don't know what's going on here. Right. Got it. I have no idea what happened. I keep getting these really weird things happening with Restream and LinkedIn. So Graham, does AE support senior executive roles? Yes, we do. So, you know, if you want to help with one-to-ones or anything with your profile, please go to the AE recruitment website, register there, you'll get some pieces of advice. But yes, you'll get free advice if you sign up here. And then if you want some more tailored advice directed just to you, you can work with me one-on-one, and everything is on our website. So thank you, Graham. Right, we've got quite a few comments here. Right, Mohammed. Hey, Hayley. Hello. If I have an experience in different types of domains of architecture, how to apply in all domain? Do we need separate CVs and portfolios for every domain? Without seeing your profile and what you actually do, I don't quite know how to answer that, but I'll try to answer it from what I see in a general sense. So normally the people who say this are people who are 3D visualizers, actually. And if it's 3D visualization, concentrate on 3D visualization in domains of architecture. I'm just trying to think what you mean by that. So let me answer it the best way I know how. So if you're a project architect, for example, so in the REBA sense, so UK sense, a project architect will work on a project right from the outset. So the initial brief, be part of that, coming up with the ideas, so the sketches and the concept design, and then they have experience going through the technical design, so producing all the details and the construction documentation, and they also have experience on site. We need to know all the way through what you work on. I'm hoping this is relative to what you're talking about, Mohammed. What you can do is register here. I will come back to you and have a look at your profile after I finish this, just so that I know that I've given you the right advice. But your portfolio is there to give an overall window into your day-to-day expertise and capabilities. So yes, we want to see everything right the way through your journey. I hope that answers that. I've seen your name before, and I'm trying to think. That's why I'm kind of umming and ahhing. I've seen your name before, and I don't know, if I'm quite there, but hopefully I've answered that, Mohammed. Right, Faisal, what is your take on cover letters? Is still worth writing or a waste of time in most cases? If I'm honest, I think as attaching a cover letter, probably not so much. I want to see it in the body of an email or in any kind of introduction. Some people still have hold quite a lot of weight on it because it gives an insight into what your actual situation is at this moment in time. Some people don't put that in their CVs and their career summary, etc. So if it's not in your career summary, it's a really good insight into what your situation is at the moment, why you're looking and what you're looking for, So yes, if you're applying via email or you're applying online, there's usually kind of a section there where you can add what you're looking for, etc. But or in an email, I would kind of put it in an email rather than a separate attachment, if that makes sense, because the attachment email introductions and the cover letter is a bit of an overload, I think. I think you can put it in the email, or if you're sending people messages on LinkedIn, for example, you don't really need to attach a cover letter. But that's my own personal view. I don't really know what hiring managers think about that. If I'm honest, I don't know whether they're a bit outdated now. I have no idea. But my personal preference is keep it light, keep your email introduction about what your situation is at the moment, what you're looking for. I want to feel a bit of personality, and I think maybe this is a cover letter seems so formal and a bit outdated. And I want to know what you're like as an individual, because like I said earlier on, sometimes there's those amazing rays of sunshine that come into my life and I'm like, oh my word, your attitude and how you are, your personality is going to shine through in every element, and they're incredibly marketable. Whereas if we've got people who are very, very formal, and it kind of sucks the life out of you sometimes. It's very people make decisions based on emotion. So if the emotion isn't there, it's really easy to skip across a CV or portfolio. Some people's portfolios only talk about the projects and don't talk anything about what they were doing on those projects. So it's more like a brochure than a portfolio of their work. And then you look at the CV and it's like, again, very formal, 2 pages, missing loads of information. And then you've got a cover letter, again, devoid of personality. And then you're not really forming an opinion on that person because it's devoid of the personality. I think that, and that's just my kind of my view on cover letters, really. I think people over the years are just like boxed in, and we need to break free from all of that and be a bit original and use our personalities to get to where we want to be in life. I think, certainly when it comes to hiring managers, they want to know that somebody's going to bounce in the office every day and, have a great influence on their team, right? So if you're like a really fun, bubbly person, I want to see that in your CV and portfolio. And that's what I work with on our platinum subscribers, is actually getting across their unique experience and personality, and have a personal brand right across their CV, LinkedIn, and portfolio, so that it's consistency at the end of the day, and that's what people gravitate towards. So, yeah. Do you have? Yes, I do. Right. So I'm having to read some of these comments. Like last week, I put up a comment and I had no idea what it meant. But yes, and it was nothing to do with recruitment or job searching. So, right, this falls into more of a networking thing, maybe, but do you have any tips on how to balance warming up your network, so to speak, without making it seem just transactional? Brilliant question. Thank you very much. Yeah. So what you can start to do is comment on maybe your company's posts, or maybe there's posts from companies out there that you think, oh my word, I would love to work for them. Week in, week out, I get asked by one-to-one people who sign up for one-to-one reviews and our platinum subscribers. I want to work for Foster and Partners, or a company that's similar to that. And what I would do is start first off getting acquainted with software that they use. But there's loads of things that you can do on LinkedIn. Sorry, I'm flitting a little bit there. There's loads of things that you can do to stand out. So start like commenting on company posts. You can start posting as well. Comment on your, I don't know, people that you went to university with, and just kind of get yourself out there. You can learn a lot from somebody's LinkedIn profile and what they're all about. So you can get that, the insights, what they care about. And that's what we're really looking for here. So if you've got if people are starting to see you comment, then what happens is, I call it like, you find your cheerleaders on LinkedIn. When you start commenting more and more and just being you, people start to, in actual fact, all the LinkedIn lives that we've got coming up in during the course of July, they are all people that I have found on LinkedIn because I've seen their comments. So there you go. And I've just thought, they are saying exactly the same thing as me, and I like what they had to say. It was just from a slightly different perspective. Nikita, for example, she was saying exactly the same thing as me, but from a website designer's perspective. And it was just really refreshing to see someone think exactly the same as I do, and also trying to change the industry. So start commenting, start interacting. These LinkedIn Lives, I don't know if you know, I do say this week in, week out, but I don't know if you've attended before. Week in, week out, over 2,000 to 2,500 people tune into these LinkedIn Lives, and you will see from the comments just how few people actually comment or get involved, get interactive. So that should give you an insight into just how fewer people comment or use their LinkedIn profiles to get ahead. Because it's like what I said, you find your cheerleaders and you start kind of exchanging information, and then maybe you can have a conversation from there. It snowballs. So yeah, just get active on LinkedIn. But yeah, thank you so much for your, I've got quite a few comments now. This is brilliant. I like it when people comment. It's so weird when I'm just sat here talking to myself. What salary bracket can one expect? Excuse me. If one has just moved to Dubai from Pakistan, someone who has 5 years of work experience in Pakistan. I don't know what you're working on, if I'm honest. Moisa? is that how I say your name? I would have to have a look at your profile, but there's usually, yeah, I would have to look at your portfolio, your LinkedIn profile, and see what you've been working on in relation to the people that we are placing. It's giving a salary bracket I'm not a fan of. So there are other recruiters out there that I know post like I don't know, different kind of salary brackets for different years experience. And it really doesn't work as far as I'm concerned, because you can have someone working at an architectural practice that does small scale residential. And then you've got people who work at PIF firms, for example. People that work at PIF firms get a lot more money, or developers, for example, because it depends on the stage of the construction process, etc., what kind of company and what their fees are for these projects. So that's a very difficult question to answer, and one that I don't like answering, because there's too many variables involved. I think once I come to the recruitment or speaking to job seekers or candidates with regards to salary, quite a lot of them go and do their research on LinkedIn, etc., and guesstimate what they think that they should be getting, and they price themselves out of an interview. So, they will get an interview or something, or they'll speak to a recruiter like me, and maybe if they're on 5 years experience, I'll use you as an example, Moisa. Maybe they've got 5 years experience and they go, yeah, I want 28. And you're like, that is an extreme. And it's just like, that's not going to work. I would guesstimate you're going to be in the region of 15,000 a month, but who knows? It does depend on how many skills you have, because there's some people that will have like, they'll be able to use like, I don't know, 15 software programs really, really well. And then you'll have another person with 5 years experience that can only use AutoCAD. Well, most of our clients these days want Rivet. So there's loads of variables that make that question a very difficult one to answer. So I would need more information on that, unfortunately. Okay, great question, Moisa. So how much do you think the war has affected career opportunities in the real estate sector? I mean, I cover architecture and design. So I don't know if any of you have noticed, but the amount of jobs that are out there now have skyrocketed. So certainly come March, I was actually due to move to Dubai, and that all got put on hold. I'm currently in Ireland. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up next, but yes, it massively affected the industry, certainly from an architecture and design perspective. But over the last couple of weeks, it's skyrocketed again. Like, people need staff left, right, and centre. So please go to our website, either register at via scanning this link, or go to aerecruitment.ae/jobs, and you'll see our jobs on there. Right. Ooh, Mohammed, this is slightly different. What is the first thing that catches your attention in a candidate's CV and portfolio when hiring for a senior architect or design manager position in the construction industry? This is very easy for me to answer. So the first thing that really, really grabs my attention is personal brand. So is there a consistency between the text, font? I know this is going to sound ridiculous to some people, but text, font, and layout in between the CV and portfolio. Is there a consistency in the message that they're sending? And generally and genuinely, if there's a consistency between the CV and portfolio and a brand, like their personal brand, I know that they've probably worked for a tier 1 company somewhere along the line. So they automatically stand out. Or they've been educated in a really, really good university. They've already been taught this. So personal brand for me is massive, massive, massive. Their portfolios are just a dream to go through. They talk about the brief, they talk about their involvement and themselves. They take you on a journey, storytelling exercise through their portfolio, and it's an all-round great experience. I don't normally have to. I'll bring up their. If I brought up their CV and portfolio side by side, they're telling the same story, but from a text or visual perspective. So brilliant question. And if you want some tips on this, by the way, register at aerecruitment.ae or scan that QR code. Sorry, I keep pointing at it and not actually saying it. And you will get loads of insights there. You also have access to our CV templates. And I'll keep saying this, I'm not trying to get you to use our CV templates. I'm just giving you some pointers on the information that we need to see in your CV. I want you to be original at the end of the day. Originality is what is going to get you places and be seen and stand out. I think for me, when I see the same CV templates over and over and over again, I kind of have this vision in my head that someone has literally just opened up maybe their existing Word document, taken out that information, plonked it in the CV template and gone, I'm done. You know, that CV template is going to get me everywhere. That's not how it works. The personal brand and your unique personal brand, which is what I work on with my platinum subscribers, is it's got to be unique to you. You've all got a vision of where you want to be, what you want to work on, what projects you want to work on, and different experience. So when you guys start talking about what you've done and where you want to go, I just see your faces light up and it's like, right, okay, let's explore this. So, and that's what I work on the subscriptions and the one-to-ones with people. But personal brand is the first thing that I notice. It's the awareness, firstly. Like, you know that they've come from a good background. So, I don't know. Moisa, you're very active today. I'm loving this. What would you recommend to someone who is trying to build a career as a luxury interior designer? So I don't know where you're at the moment, but start learning loads of stuff. Look at some of the interior design firms that you want to work for and research. What kind of background do they have? What software do they work on? And learn as much as you can so that you stand out to them, basically. So just think about, get yourself a pad or a piece of paper, get a pen, start like writing out exactly what you want for your future. What are those projects that you work on? Then find out the companies that specialize in those types of projects and find out what software they use. And also you can like find out and look at their kind of career and how they've got to that position or how they've got to working on those types of projects. And you can start feeding that in and working backwards when it comes to your job search. So I hope that helps. Ooh. I really appreciate for your genuine information. You are so welcome. Sorry, I've just clicked something and flicked through loads of stuff. I'm toing and froing now. Right. I just wanted to ask if there are any job opportunities available for BIM architects in the UAE at the moment. Has the recent war affected the construction industry or hiring in any way? Look, it seems to be go at this moment in time. So I would just get searching. We've got jobs that we haven't actually put live on our website at the moment. So register up here. What I would say, Suhail, the most important thing when it comes to starting your job search is making sure, and please, like, go to my profile, watch this live right from the beginning, and register on the AE website so that you get some insights as to how to update your CV and portfolio, because in a sea of applications, you want to be focusing on what message you are sending. Don't focus on anyone else or the competition. Focus on the message that you are sending. Is it a clear message that your CV is saying? Do you have projects in your portfolio? Do I know your duties and responsibilities on those projects? The size, the scale, the sector. And then once you put together your CV, does your portfolio mirror your CV? And does it show all of those stages in your portfolio? That's the most clear and concise way I can do it. Right. Sorry. I'm losing my voice. We're 1 hour, 9 minutes in. So I won't be able to go on for too much longer. I will get these questions answered. So if you want to keep them coming in, I'll get these questions answered, and then I'll go back to anyone that I've missed, because I did just flick the mouse, unfortunately. Moisa, hi, Hayley. Perfect pronunciation. Oh, amazing. Thank you. I'm an architect who has worked on a diverse range of projects: architectural design, interior design, landscape and visualization. Brilliant. Okay. So yeah, you just need to, in your portfolio, we need to understand your experience in a more linear fashion, so that we understand all the stages that you work on. And it's really easy for us to visualize you working for a client, or we basically match. We're a matching service. Oh, sounds like we're a dating service, but yes. So we need to understand that you and what you produce in your CV and portfolio match exactly what our client produces. So the more that we can see the stages of the project that you work on, the easier, and the easier all round. Interviews become such an easy process, and hiring managers, we've noticed, they change their conversation from what do you do to how can we work together, because you've already kind of set the scene of what you're capable of, and they're choosing you because they can see that there's promise there. All it is to see, the interview stage is to see if what you've said in your CV and portfolio is what is the same in the interview process. So once you get to that stage and they're like, yeah, they're saying all the same things as they did in their CV and portfolio, the interview changes, and it's so much easier, a more enjoyable experience. Faisal, if a candidate matches almost all of the requirement in a job description except for one skill, should they still apply? And from a recruiter side, is one missing skill actually a deal breaker, or can it be learned on the job? Look, I have to say, once you get to recruitment consultants, certainly at the moment, our clients are like, sugar, we need people like yesterday. There's been a gap where they've put all the recruitment on hold, and now the projects are taking gaining traction, got legs. I had so many things that I could have said then. I was just about to merge them all into one. So there's no time to learn anything. I don't think right this second. Certainly when clients come to us, they want someone that's got all of those skills. One of the key ones at the moment that really does get people kind of knocked out straight away is Revit. So yes, one missing skill can be a massive deal breaker. If it's something like you haven't worked on super high-rise projects ever, deal breaker. If you don't have Revit experience, deal breaker. So it depends on it depends on what the requirement is and how important it is. So yeah, sometimes our clients will go, okay, so yeah, we need people who work on super high rise Revit. Maybe we want them to have Lumion or something, and they'll say, right, we'll have a conversation with them and say, right, what is a deal breaker, like you say, Faisal, or what are the nice to haves? So the nice to haves are, yeah, obviously not deal breakers, but usually the things like project experience, location experience, and Revit or the computer software are kind of, yeah, a given. Once you kind of, if you don't have any of those three, or yeah, it just depends. I'm talking myself out of it, but it all depends on their requirement. If there's a long list of computer expertise or computer software knowledge, then there's probably more elements that you can you don't need, if that makes sense. But say that the requirement wants super high rise experience, Revit experience, and UAE, and you don't have one of those, then it's a deal breaker. So yeah, look at how many kind of requirements they are listing in the job description, and just be honest with yourself. Most of these companies these days, they use the interview process as a way of testing you, obviously. But you know, you don't want to be wasting your time as well. It's like we do get people who say they have everything, and then I start questioning them. So, and you can tell straight away. And it's, you know, in the future, if that person starts applying to other jobs, that you've got a question mark about them. So, for your sake, what I would do is concentrate on the vacancies that are relevant to you and your skills. Don't blanket your CV everywhere and hope that something's going to come in. You know, there is such a thing as the hidden job market out there. And so, you know, just be really discerning about what you can offer a client, write those down and start finding out those companies that actually benefit or that want those skills, and go from there. You know, I think most kind of job seekers out there just blanket everything and then get really annoyed. And that's when you see them on LinkedIn kind of, yeah, negatively commenting everywhere, which also isn't great for your job search, by the way, because we do look at your LinkedIn. So if you're someone right now who's commenting, I've got a fly, no flies on me, dearie me. If you're someone who's commenting on people's posts and you're feeling really negative about your job search, take yourself off of LinkedIn for a little bit, get yourself in a good mood, and start tackling it when you are in a good mood. That goes for your CV, that goes for your portfolio, and that goes for your LinkedIn. We want to see the very best of you. Sugar, I've just seen a massive message come in. We want to see the very best of you. So getting ahead of your job search does mean putting together all of your documents, and including your LinkedIn, in a good mood so that we feel that energy. You know, that's what we're looking for. That's what's going to get you the job. Right. Moisa, thank you for sharing your insights. Hayley, you are very welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. Right, Alexander, how do I position myself for the next level job? I do not want to do the same job, but I want to grow. Thank you. So, what I have been talking about with my community actually is more about kind of learning, talking to your boss. Sugar, go away. Talking to your boss and seeing how you can work together so that you can gain those skills. Sometimes I wouldn't necessarily use a job search for this. I know a lot of people do, but certainly when the hiring market is firing on all cylinders, that usually means that it's go, 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 go. So the time to take to onboard and learn, teach that new person all about the company and new skills doesn't normally excite the hiring manager. You know, they want to know that the person that they hire is going to fill all the relevant requirements to that job description, and then you know, they can look at teaching skills beyond that once they're embedded into the company. So I would firstly look at where you are at this moment in time. I understand that you don't want to do the same job, but also, you know, talk to your boss and see how you can work together on it. It's not all about jumping ship when you need to learn a skill, because yeah, some companies at this moment in time, they're really in like desperate need of people, and they don't have that time to teach those skills. So they gravitate towards the people who do have the skills already. Right, this next one. Arshad, this is the longest message. It's probably going to fill up the whole entire screen. And I might have to come back to you on this one, but I'm going to give it a shot. And then we might have to leave it we might have to come back to the rest of you. So, Arshad, hi Hayley. Hi Arshad. I had a question regarding the current job market in the UAE. As someone looking for junior architect and junior project manager roles, I've noticed there are very few genuine junior level openings across most job platforms. From your perspective, are firms filling these positions through internal hiring, referrals, or other channels rather than advertising them publicly? I'd love to hear your thoughts on how the junior hiring market is functioning at the moment. One looking for junior architect and junior project manager roles. I think you're repeating yourself there. I've noticed there are a few genuine. You are repeating yourself. Okay, right. So in terms of junior roles, in actual fact, we don't get that many junior roles. Like I said to Graham earlier on in the live, we mainly deal with people from 5 years and mainly the top end. That's not to say that we don't get them, but yes, certainly from the tier 1 companies that we work with, they use their own network to find these people, and they go back to the universities that they educated at because it's a known quantity to them. Hiring managers will always stick to what they know already, you know, what they've experienced, and whether it's a good one. If it's a good one, obviously they're going to stick with that. So yeah, directors, partners, etc., they usually gravitate towards their university that they were educated at, and their network. Yes, so I would start kind of looking at that, speaking to people that you went to university with, and get yourself out there on LinkedIn. Make sure your LinkedIn profile, your CV, and your portfolio all align. If you want some tips, and these tips are universal, by the way, I haven't kind of directed them towards the junior end or senior end. I've tried to make them as broad as possible, but that will go to show just how much advice there is to get you out there. Like I had Yusuf, who started the AE Masterclass. He was looking for over 2 years. It was ghosted for over 2 years. As soon as he started our AE Masterclass, he got an interview within weeks. So it just goes to show the power of your, and he hadn't got through the portfolio modules yet. So it just goes to show the power of your LinkedIn profile. Optimize it, get yourself out there, start commenting. I mean, this is a great start, Arshad, but yeah, make sure that your portfolio and your CV are aligned and they're in a human voice. You will definitely stand out once you start embracing who you are as an individual and start putting it out there to the world. So I hope that helps. But yes. Whew. Right. Faisal, thank you, Hayley. That really clarifies things for me. Brilliant stuff. Well, can I just say thank you ever so much to everyone who has joined me today. Next week, we are going to have Ray Brown on. And sorry, there was one of you. Let me just go back. So Alexander, this is what I should have said to you. How do I position myself for the next level job? Please join me and Ray Brown next week, because he is going to be giving insights into what you need to learn and what skills you need to learn to enable you to move through your career and move through the levels that you need to get to. Learn those skills so that when you get to a managerial role, you are prepped, you're prepared. And yeah, we're trying to build the architectural offices of the future. So yeah, please join me next week. Go onto my LinkedIn profile as well. Scroll down and under activity, there's events. So sign up or register your attendance to those events so that you will get a notification in your notifications on LinkedIn. That sounds saying it over and over again. And yes, please, I look forward to seeing you next week and beyond. So have an amazing weekend, guys. Thank you so much for all your questions and everything today. I didn't cover everything that I had on my list, so I will be covering that over the weeks to come. Please register or scan this QR code to register at a recruitment website. Some of you are on our database, but not the new website. So please get yourself on there or the new portal so that you can get some insights and start standing out. So, yeah, lovely to have you all here. Have an amazing weekend.